What's up, everybody? Welcome to Metal Remains Backstage. My name is Manuel. With me is Carlos from New York.
Hi.
And we have Vince Nihil from Knife.
Hi.
Hi, Vince. How are you?
I'm fine. Everything's great. We have just returned from the Wacken Open Air, so I'm relaxed and looking forward to enjoying the weekend.
Were you able to enjoy the festival a bit, even though the conditions were very difficult, right?
Yes, it was really. It's hard to explain. So it was great for us because we had the chance to play. I think we had 1 hour of sunshine during the whole 2 days when we were there, and we had the time to play exactly when the sun came up.
Great.
We had a great show, and many people attended the show, of course, because it stopped raining. It was an awkward experience, let's put it that way. But for us, it was really nice. The people were very friendly, and they were working really, really hard to keep things going. So it was more or less great. Of course, it's a pity that more or less, I think 30,000 people had to return to where they came from. And but for us, it was a great time. But I'm glad that I had the opportunity to take a shower and.
We had the opportunity to go last year. It was a very different year. There was no rain at all, which was rare for Wacken. And we were a bit sad to not being able to come this year. But with everything that went on, well, we are glad our experience was good. And we hope fans over there are making the best of it.
Right.
I think they will.
Vince, here at Metal Remains, we are always lurking around to find new music. And since you are a music fan, as we can see on your behind, that is your collection. Can you please share with us what you have been listening to lately?
Oh, well, currently it's quite... Well, it's a weird mixture, let's put it that way. I was listening to Poison Idea a lot, so old school hardcore punk. But at the same time, when driving the car or going for a hike, I was listening to the latest EP by Dark Forest. We had some punk on the one hand and some new old school heavy metal. But it's a mixture. I listened to Witch Hazel a lot, but the not the last one, not the current one, the one before. Usually in the car, it's a mix. It's more or less my Spotify mixtape that I'm listening to. At home, I was listening to I think Dark Forest and Witch Hazel are the bands I've listened to.
All right, cool. Knife's upcoming album, Heaven into Dust, will be released on August 25th, 2023 via Napalm Records. What can you tell people to expect from this new effort?
I think the new record is more or less the next step, the next logical step to the first record, because I think we put all the ingredients together that we had for the first record, but we went one step beyond beyond the, that's what it's difficult to explain. I think it's one step further than the first record, because it's, to a certain extent, it's more melodic, but on the other hand, it's also more aggressive. We have more thrash influences this time, but the others do not share my opinion. I always think there are more Slayer influences this time. But I think it's the logical consequence of the first record. So we have these fast punkish songs. One difference is that we have two slower songs. So we usually play fast songs, and this time we have two slower songs, but the fast songs are even faster than the ones that we had before. So I think
just to compensate.
Yes, exactly.
All right, cool. We definitely love the raw and vintage sound in your approach to music. And in your opinion, why do you think it's important to continue the legacy of speed thrash metal?
I think speed and thrash metal are more or less the purest forms of heavy metal. So they combine all the ingredients of the original old school heavy metal, but put it one step further. So I think it's just to compare Deep Purple and Raven. The development, of course, it's more or less the same, but on the other hand, it's faster. And I think the speed and the thrash metal bands, they put it to a new extreme. They were and they still are more melodic than the real fast and hard bands like the death metal bands and the black metal bands. And I think this stripped down to the core, I think the speed thrash metal is heavy metal more or less. Of course, the ingredients are always the same. It's a little bit the pace is different. And I think this is the purest form, and we love heavy metal, the pure music. But this is why we do not have a vintage production. We love that old school approach to music. We record the instruments the way they should sound like. We want the artworks to be like the old bands had. So I think the old school approach with modern influences is what is all about, because then the scene and the music will always continue to develop.
Based on what you're saying, do you avoid bands that have like a very modern sound with very modern techniques to record their albums?
Well, we do not avoid them, but I think a good example to explain what I think music is about, if we compare the first Exodus record with their newer efforts, and of course it's still Exodus more or less. Of course, we do not have Paul Baloff, who is Exodus, but I think the production doesn't really fit to this. It's difficult to explain. So I don't think that the modern sound fits to a thrash metal band, because if it's too modern, then it's not thrash metal. Then it might be neo thrash or something that doesn't look that doesn't sound really authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
Of course, I like to listen to modern bands. I really like Heaven Shall Burn, for example, and I also think I'm not that new, but I like bands like Children of Bodom or Killswitch Engage. They are also great. But they do not really play heavy metal. And if we have heavy metal bands, they should sound like heavy metal bands. And heavy metal is not really modern, so it's 40 years old. So it shouldn't sound too modern. It should sound like a band that you can imagine playing in your living room.
All right. I got your point. Let's talk a little bit more about your experience in Wacken this year. You were scheduled to play at the Wasteland stage, right?
Yes, exactly.
And based on the images we have seen, it really seems to be a wasteland right now. We're there with all the rain and all the mud and everything going on. As you were saying before, probably around 35,000 people couldn't make it into the festival. They have to close the roads. They have to not allow more people to come in for the security and the safe of everybody there. So from your perspective, how was the reaction on the fans? How difficult was for you, the band, to get there and to play and to accommodate to everything that was going on there?
I think the people who finally made it to the festival area, they were really, on the one hand, they were really happy. But of course, they all seemed very tired from the very beginning. And so we saw them. We met some friends who arrived there on Monday, and they had troubles with their tents, with the cars. Already there were only 10,000 people, and it was already a very dangerous and extreme situation. But I think the people they are glad to be there, and they make the best out of it. So when we played the show, they were really into the music. Of course, there weren't any mosh pits because you couldn't really move because you were stuck in the mud. But I think, it's still Wacken, and everyone knows that Wacken is always,
rain or shine.
Of the time. Yes, exactly. And this time it's rain or rain.
Rain or mud.
Rain or mud. Yeah, this fits quite well. But I think the people enjoyed it the best they could. I'm not sure how the situation is today, so we had to leave yesterday in the morning, so I have no idea what's going on right now.
Was that your first time playing at Wacken?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think 19 years ago it was the last time when I was there as a fan, and this time I was there to play. It was really great, and the people in the backstage areas and people who had to take care of all the artists, they were really, really busy. Of course, they were stressed, but they also made the best out of it. So I think we felt welcomed, and people tried their best to give us the best time that could have. have in the mud, more or less.
Right. Well, and we hope you have another opportunity to go there to play in Wacken, hopefully with a better weather.
Oh,
Yes,
definitely.
we hope so, but we couldn't imagine a better crowd. So the people were incredible. They were singing along. It was crazy. It was really, really, really great. The people were awesome.
Great to hear that. Once the new album is out, what are your touring plans to promote it?
So the next show is, I think it's 1 week after the release, and then we have several other shows, more or less weekend shows, with Asphyx and Soulburn and Legion of the Damned, among others.
Oh, nice.
And after Christmas, we go on tour with Sodom and
Wow.
Soulburn again and Imatarikat. And in between, we also we have some more weekend shows. I can't recall all the dates because we all have to work. Unfortunately, we have to work.
Right.
So the weekenders are the only opportunity to play live.
So this is all happening in Europe.
Yes, and I think the remaining shows are all in Germany. So next year we're going to Belgium. We were in the Netherlands and Czech Republic this year. Last year we were in Romania and Brazil. This was great.
Oh wow, nice.
And we'll see what's going to happen next year. We're looking forward to touring. Hopefully we can go back to South America again. This was really great. But the people in Romania and everywhere are awesome. So everywhere we go, the old school people, let's put it that way. The old school people are really into the music, and it's always a great time. It's always great fun.
All right, great.
Any chance of Knife coming to Spain anytime soon?
We hope so. So while we were driving home from Wacken, we already discussed the festivals that we want to play. It could be possible for us to play, and we had some in France. And of course, we want to get to go to other European countries like Portugal and Spain, of course. And we hopefully will make it next year. The chances are high because next year we have a longer period where all of us have the opportunity to go on a longer tour.
Great.
We do our best.
Okay, we'll be waiting over here with the paella, sangria, and all that good stuff.
Amazing. So I'm on my way.
Awesome. Vince, to wrap up this chat, can you share with us one of your favorite backstage moments?
Oh, yes, I can. 3 months ago, I think, we were the Bavarian Metalheads. And so we had a show before. We played the Rock and Metal Days in Germany, and we had to go to the Bavarian Metalheads Festival. It was a very long trip. And when we arrived there, so we had to prepare everything, and then we had some beers. And then we played the show. And after the last song, well, because Praying Mantis were the headliner on that Saturday, said, okay, thank you very much. We were Knife, and we're all children of the earth. And afterwards, when I went off stage and went backstage, I met the guys of Praying Mantis, and they heard me saying this. And again, yeah, great, you mentioned us. And then, of course, we had this. I had this huge new wave of British heavy metal moment, meeting these amazing guys, having a chat with them, taking a photograph. And this was really great. And another one is also related to the new wave of British heavy metal. This was when we played the Setembro Negro Festival in Sao Paulo. We only had a short period of time there because we arrived at Saturday morning and had to go back on Saturday evening. So we enjoyed a few minutes swimming and enjoying the pool at the hotel. We were again having a beer, and then suddenly I saw Diamond Head passing by.
Oh man!
They're in the pool. Shit, this is Brian Tedler and this is Diamond Head. And then I went off the pool, and of course I had to take a photo again. So this was the second new wave of British heavy metal moment, and this was also amazing.
All right. Awesome.
Always good times at Backstage.
Of course. Great.
Yeah, it's the best experience when you met with your heroes. And I'm really sure that sooner or later, you will run into somebody very young that will just have a great time meeting you and telling all their friends, hey, I met the guys from Knife, fucking Knife.
This would be amazing. Maybe in the future. So everyone can join us, not backstage, but we will join the audience. So we will go to the people in the ground and have a chat. So it's always a good chance to meet us. Just come to the shows, and we are always there.
Awesome.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Vince, for your time. Thanks for everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks to everybody for watching this video. If you like this interview, please like it and subscribe to our channel. Make sure to follow Knife and to buy and stream Heaven into Dust, which is coming out on August 25th to double support Knife And also, please go to their shows. Vince, see you in the future. But until then,
Yes.
stay metal!
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.